I get it, you're looking at that big, shiny pellet grill and wondering if it's really worth the space in your backyard and the price tag. I was in the same spot last month, scrolling through endless options while my cousin kept nudging me about a real smoker for his weekend BBQs. The fear of buying a grill that ends up as a pricey coat rack is real, especially when you're juggling a limited budget and a desire for consistent, tasty results. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. The recteq DualFire 1200 isn't just another grill. It's a two-chambered system that lets you fire up a hot sear zone, while a cooler side handles the low and slow smoke. That concept sounds great on paper, but does it hold up when you actually fire it up on a Saturday afternoon? I've spent the past few weeks testing it in my own backyard, cooking a brisket, a pizza, and a quick batch of chicken wings, and I'm ready to break down what I learned. First off, the dual chambers are the heart of the whole experience. The hot chamber can crank up to 500 F in minutes, which makes it perfect for a quick steak sear or a crisp pizza crust. The slow chamber stays in the 225-250 F sweet spot, giving you that gentle, even smoke that makes a brisket tender after a 10-hour cook. What I appreciated most is that you don't have to constantly juggle the temperature dial or shuffle food between two separate grills. The grill's custom temperature control lets you set each side independently from a single interface, and it actually sticks to the numbers. In my tests, the hot side dipped only a few degrees when I opened the lid to toss a steak, and the slow side stayed within a 2-degree range for the entire brisket run. That consistency translates directly into confidence. If you can set it and walk away, you can trust the outcome. Now, who should be eyeing this piece of equipment? If you're the kind of cook who loves to experiment thinking, what if I smoke ribs and bake a dessert at the same time? The DualFire 1200 makes that possible without buying two separate units. It also fits well for families who want one grill for everyday meals, quick burgers, chicken, vegetables, and another for weekend projects like low and slow pork shoulder. The Wi-Fi connectivity means you can monitor and adjust temperatures from your phone, which is a real convenience when you're busy grilling and can't stand the urge to peek every 5 minutes. For those who enjoy the ritual of pellet cooking but don't want to babysit a single chamber, this is a solid middle ground. On the flip side, if your cooking style is ultra-minimalist, think a simple propane grill for a quick hot dog, or you only do occasional BBQs, this might be overkill. The DualFire's footprint is larger than a standard pellet grill, so you'll need a decent amount of patio or deck space. Also, the initial learning curve is a bit steeper than a traditional gas grill. You have to understand how to balance the two chambers, manage pellet consumption, and get comfortable with the app interface. If you're not willing to spend a couple of evenings reading the manual and doing a few test runs, you could end up frustrated. One of the practical strengths that stood out was the pellet system's reliability. The hopper holds enough pellets for a full day of cooking, and the feed mechanism didn't jam during my marathon sessions. I tried a mix of hardwood pellets, hickory, apple, and cherry without any clogs, and each wood imparted its characteristic flavor without overwhelming the meat. The grill also has a built-in ash drawer that slides out easily, so cleanup after a long smoke session is not a chore. In real terms, that means you can finish a brisket, close the lid, and the ash stays contained, ready for a quick sweep later. The downside I noticed is the heat-up time for the hot chamber when you're trying to go from a slow cook to a fast sear. It takes about 1,012 minutes to get from 250 F to 500 F, which is fine if you plan ahead, but it does require a bit of timing if you want to finish a low and slow piece and then give it a quick sear. Also, because the two chambers share a single fire pot, you can't run the hot side at 500 F while the slow side stays at 225 F without a slight temperature bleed. In practice, the dip was minimal, about 10 F on the slow side, but if you're aiming for ultra-precise low-temperature cooking, like delicate fish, you might notice the shift. Another practical consideration is the price point. This isn't a budget pellet grill. It lands in the higher-end range, which is justified by the dual-chamber design, solid construction, and the Wi-Fi module. However, the bundle includes a grill cover, which is a nice bonus if you live in a climate that sees rain or snow. The warranty, while not detailed in the specs I could find, is presented as a confidence marker from the brand, suggesting they